Welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. One of my very first opportunities to be on any of Park City Television's shows was to talk about the Wendover Air Show. And I have the unique experience of doing it a little differently this time. I get to interview somebody else about it, and I'm pretty excited about it because this is one of Utah's funnest, most fine air shows, really, that you can go to. And sitting next to me, Matt McNamara, pilot for SkyWest Airlines and also pilot at the Commemorative Air Force up in Heber. And I am so thrilled to have you here, my friend. It's
Thanks
good
for having
to have
me.
you.
I appreciate you bringing me in.
Absolutely. So you've got some exciting things going on up at Heber. We've been talking about it a little bit this week about the B-17 that's visiting.
Yeah, we've got some really exciting times going this whole week. We've got the B-17 Sentimental Journey from Phoenix, Arizona, from Mesa down there. Stopped in on their tour on their way to Grand Junction. They're giving rides, they're giving tours of the aircraft over there. We've got our museum open. It's a great time. There's a lot of fun. If anybody stops by today, I think they've got a ride going at 9 o'clock and at 11 o'clock. And you're going to get to see the B-17 fly twice today. And then,
right after the show, you can
right after the show. As soon as the show's over, they can head right over there.
Awesome.
Grab some coffee on the way over and enjoy it. It's going to be great. And if you haven't heard those big 4 radial engines sing,
oh boy,
you're missing out on something. It is exciting. So.
Yeah. Have you had an opportunity to get a little stick time on it?
I have. I've been fortunate enough to fly the B-17, and it is big and heavy.
Yeah.
Just like you'd expect it to be, but it is a lot of fun.
That
a lot
cockpit,
of history.
for as old as it is, still pretty complicated. There's a lot of things to do to manage up there.
You know, as you said, I fly for the airlines, and our jets are simplified, much better. You start looking around, there's switches everywhere in that thing, and it gets complicated, but it is an absolutely beautiful aircraft. So I hope people do come over and check it out, and I hope to get you over there today.
Oh, you can count on it. You know, that is one of the smoothest flying planes.
It is.
You know, I had the fortune of bringing back the crew on another aircraft. I went out and picked them up and brought them back, and they tell me they owe me a little stick time. So
good.
I'm going to come capitalize on that.
You need to come over and take advantage of it. That's
I'm on my way
too much
up there today.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a little bit of expense in the idea of writing it, but it is nothing compared to the experience, is it?
Absolutely not. The cost is very small compared to the historical experience you get of looking out that wing, looking out the gunner's window and seeing that wing out there and realizing that thousands of guys gave their lives looking at that same view, and thousands more came back and are dying off at a pretty good clip. We're losing World War II vets at a big clip.
Yeah.
So it's a great chance to live history, which is to me very exciting, and a chance to meet the vets. We've had several come out, so it's really an exciting time. And we're an all-volunteer group, nonprofit group, so that money doesn't go into anybody's pocket. It goes right into keeping that airplane flying. As with all the aircraft over in our museum in Heber, every dollar we get goes into keeping that airplane flying, and we do. We're a unique museum in that we keep these airplanes flying. We don't just put them on static display. You get to hear them run. There's
a lot of work involved in that, though.
Huge
people are spending time every single day doing something to those planes to keep them in the air because you know, there's after all they're only made out of metal and things.
Parts wear out, and you know, these are 70-year-old aircraft, and so a lot of the parts, still easy to find, but getting harder and harder and more expensive all the time.
Yeah,
it is worth every penny and every minute I spend, hours I spend on these things, just to do it to keep them flying.
Well, I think it gives you an idea of how much fun it is when you're willing to volunteer every spare minute you have just so you can fly the things.
I spent the last day and a half out there helping them do an inspection, a mandatory inspection. You know, it took a day and a half, but we got it done, and she's ready to go. And
that's great.
Get her flying, so it's fun.
Well, I love that mission is so similar to the one that we have out at Wendover.
It is.
You know, it's the same thing. The Wendover Air Show is a nonprofit, and the money that it brings in, which is not substantial, but it's significant in that it brings in enough money to rebuild some of the buildings that are coming down out at Wendover, including the Enola Gay Hangar, which is, if you haven't ever seen it, is probably one of the largest hangars in the country, and from a historical standpoint,
certainly one of the most historical training bases in the United States was the Wendover Air Base. For those that don't know, Wendover was the training base for the Enola Gay and for Boxcar that dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki that effectively ended World War II, that brought it to a much speedier conclusion with far less casualties and death than would have otherwise.
Yeah, there was always that argument as to whether it was the right thing to do, and it's certainly not something you and I are going to debate.
Oh, no.
But at the end of the day, there's very few people who will argue that there would have been many more deaths had it not been done.
Yeah, absolutely.
That the Japanese were willing to fight to the very last man.
War is a bad thing, no matter how you look at it.
It is.
And you know, they were definitely ready to fight till the bitter end. But irregardless of how you feel about whether the nuclear bomb should have been used, the fact that we have a very historical and important piece of that historical pie right in our backyard is fantastic.
It is equal in my mind often, I think, in many ways. I wouldn't say necessarily equal, but it rises to a level very similar to the USS Arizona.
Absolutely.
At
on a
Pearl
memorial,
Harbor.
absolutely.
You know, I had the opportunity to be there and be there with some Japanese folks who took that place to be very reverent as well.
Absolutely.
And from the perspective of, you know, again, it was more about the fact that people had fought and died. It wasn't about the politics of war. It was about the mere fact that there was one. Everyone
was fighting for their country, right or wrong. They were fighting for their country and something they believed in. So that's important, and it needs to be recognized, not just the Allied efforts, but also, you know, a certain amount of respect for our enemies. And when you talk to the vets, you always have...
We fly both planes.
Absolutely. And when you speak to the veterans, they speak with a great amount of respect for the enemy, because it wasn't an easy thing on either side. So it was, and that's the neat thing, is you do get to meet the vets and you get to hear these stories firsthand with what we do, and that's very important.
Well, and aviation has always had, you know, especially look back at World War I, has always had a certain amount of respect and decorum in the way that a battle is fought.
Absolutely.
And I think that's, you know, like I said, we definitely celebrate that when we fly the planes of other nations. We'll be flying some Russian MiGs, and we'll be flying a lot of stuff like that. In fact, that kind of brings us to the.
I was going to say, let's talk about the important part. Let's talk about the airplanes. That's
what
right.
we care about. So yeah, what have we got this year?
We've got a great selection of aircraft. Starting out with, well, we'll start out with the World War II aircraft. We've got an F-4 Corsair, which was a Navy fighter.
Right.
We've got a P-51
and there it is right there.
Mustang, and there it is. Got some video of it. P-51 Mustang and a P-40 Warhawk, which were the frontline fighters for the U.S. Army Air Corps. All three of those, I've seen them. They're fantastic examples, absolutely gorgeous restorations. We have, the pilots are great. You'll get to see them all fly.
Yeah, that P-51, that's the Busy Bee, and that's from, or the Boise Bee.
The Boise Bee.
Right there from Idaho.
From Nampa. That's the Paul's up there. They've got a fantastic Warhawk museum up there.
Awesome.
And they really are fun folks. So, you know, you come out, you look at the aircraft, you can appreciate it, but when you get to talk to the owners and the pilots, you really see their deep dedication to this, because they put a lot of money into this, a lot of time into it, and it's really neat to see and come out and appreciate that. Some of the other air show acts we've got, I know we've got Greg Collier in the T-33, which was the jet trainer from the 1950s, and that
You've got a lot of stick
fun.
time on that plane.
I've got a little stick time in the T-33. We're going to have, I believe, 4 of them flying out there. We're going to have a 3-ship formation flight, and then Greg's going to do an aerobatic act with his.
You better find me a back seat in one of them this year.
We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can work out with that. What else do we have? We've got the Silver Wings.
This year.
We've got the Silver Wings wing walking, and if people haven't seen somebody climb out of an airplane and walk around on the wings, it is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'd rather be strapped in myself.
Me too.
But the young lady that does this is absolutely phenomenal, and far braver than I am by a long shot.
I can't imagine after being in that airplane, strapped in, and being scared about that alone, because you're out there in the wind, and that feeling is so different than what we're used to in an enclosed cockpit. The idea of climbing out of this seat,
hanging on to it, and it's an entertaining thing for sure, and very very popular with the people. And a lot of fun to watch. We've also got some aerobatic acts to talk about. Local gentleman, Dave Erickson.
Yeah.
He just got a new airplane. It's a Zlin 50. He had a Chipmunk. He just updated it. And if you haven't seen his routine in the Zlin, wow is
really
wow
crazy,
is right. Yeah, Dave A is one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. And two, he's a fantastic pilot, and he pushes that thing and does things that I look at it and I go, how did you do that?
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's fun. And
Brad Worston's going to come in from Logan.
Has yeah, and I think he has an MX-5.
Yeah, that's his new plane.
Yeah,
he went from the Edge to that.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal airplane.
And I guess he's got his low altitude, so he's going to be doing some pretty
He's going to be doing some fun stuff. It's going to be a great show. We've got a lot of neat things. We've got current military stuff coming in. The F-16s from Hill Air Force Base. Guess they're not stopping him, but they're going to do
We'll have a couple on the ground, and then they're going to do a formation flight.
They're going to do a formation flight, and I know the Navy's going to have a couple F-18s. Their Hornet, their Rhinos are going to be there, so that'll be fun to see.
And then KC-135 from the Utah Air National Guard
from the Guard, yeah.
And both the units I've been in, the wing which I'm in now, and then of course my old unit, the 109th Air Control Squadron, will be there, showing what mobile radar is all about. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one.
There's going to be some good stuff, and you know, there's also a lot of things going on for folks that maybe airplanes aren't really their thing. There's going to be a car show going on.
One of the biggest at the Enola Gay Hangar.
Yeah, a huge car show. I mean, years past they've had hundreds of vehicles out there, and every one of them I've always been jealous of because I can barely keep my new car washed and waxed and polished and looking pretty. And these guys take something that, you know, again, is 50 years old and make it look brand new. It's amazing to me.
Have you seen that the Dodge Vapor that we get for the Air Force?
I've heard about it, and it's going to be fun to see.
This thing looks like an airplane, but it's a car.
It's a stealth Dodge, and it's got some really neat trick stuff to it, so people got to come out just to see that. It's going to be a good time.
Well, this is great. The ticket price for this is pretty inexpensive, too. I tell people all the time it's the best value there is.
It's a bit of a drive to Wendover, but I think it's $10 a person.
Right, for adults.
$5
for 5 to 12. 6 to 12.
6 to 12.
And under 6 are free, or excuse me, 7 to 12. 6 and under are free. Our military members, if you're a member of the military or you know, if you've got your ID, you can get in for that $5 amount, which is just terrific.
That's fantastic.
I think it's important that we celebrate their service. And great food from HB Boyce and Burger King. So yeah, there's something for everybody out there.
And you know, people say, well, $10. I mean, that's, you know, now it's a lot of money. But the reality is, you're not just paying for an air show. You're supporting the historical foundation out there, the preservation and restoration of the Enola Gay Hangar, the Officers Club, the Wendover Air Base.
Yeah, you come to that air show, you own part of that airfield.
Exactly. You have bought a brick or a nail for that field, and it's a great thing. And there's so much history out there that people really need to come out. And I guess Friday night they're giving tours.
Yep, Friday night if you stay at the RV encampment, which is Ray City RV's got an RV encampment for us this year, because we fill all the hotels.
Yeah, the hotels are.
So yeah, you better get a hotel room fast if you're going to stay. But the RV encampment, $20 to put an RV. Yep. So it's just like NASCAR. You're right there.
You're right
you have to
there
watch the whole thing in front
of
the Enola Gay Hangar, and then there's that tour the evening before. So if you come out Friday night, you've got an opportunity to take a really rare tour of the Enola Gay Hangar.
And it is a rare tour. That's exactly right. They don't do these very often, and they're not open to the public very often. So it is a really neat chance to get out there and do that. Plus, a lot of the airplanes will be there Friday, so you'll have a chance to see the airplanes before the air show starts and meet some of the pilots. I guess they've got a little meet and greet going on Friday evening, so it's going to be fun.
All right.
And yeah, it's I highly recommend everybody come out and support it. It's a good thing.
From two pilots to you.
Yeah, from two pilots to you. We want you out at the Wendover Air Show.
What's the website, real quick?
Let's see. It's wendoverfun.com.
Wendoverairbase.com.
Wendoverairbase.com.
Wendover Fun will get you your hotel room.
That's right. Wendover Fun is the. You tricked me on that one.
I know. Wendoverairbase.com. And again, we hope we get to see you out there. Matt, thanks so much for being on the show and talking about it with me.
Always fun.
Oh, yeah.
Love talking about it.
Blast. All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you there Saturday this weekend. It's we open the gates at 9 and flying starts at 11.
It'll be fun.
All right. We'll be back after these messages.
Just to tell them that I love you a lot. Then the